Jungkook, why are you overreacting? He just needed help finding the library. Overreacting? Did you not see the way he was looking at you? It was like he had some bad intentions about you. He was just being friendly. Not everyone has bad intentions, you know. Friendly? Please, I have seen enough guys to know when someone is not just looking to be friends. I just don't want you to get hurt. Oh, come on, Jungkook. I am capable of handling myself. Just because you don't trust him doesn't mean he is not a good guy. And after all, I was just helping him. Fine, just don't get too close to him. I don't get a positive vibe from him. Okay, but you are just overthinking. I'm not overthinking. I care about you. And I don't want some random guy to come along and take advantage of that. You mean a lot to me, okay? You sighed. Look, I get it. But I'm not a child. If he does anything wrong, I will deal with it. Just trust me a little. Jungkook paused and sighed before saying, Fine, but don't say I didn't warn you. Michael is the new guy who joined college last week. He's pretty handsome and you have noticed him more than a few times, but your best friend Jungkook is not thrilled about this. He does not trust Michael and feels like there is something off about him. Jungkook is warning you to stay away from Michael, but you don't see anything wrong with getting to know him. This difference in opinions is causing some tension between you and Jungkook. You are focusing on the class, but then out of blue someone approached you. Is this seat empty? Can I sit here? Both you and Jungkook, who was sitting beside you, looked at Michael. Can I sit here? He asked again. You hesitantly looked back at Jungkook, then turned your head towards Michael. Sure. He thanked you before sitting. You side-eyed Jungkook and saw him angrily glaring at you. But for now you just shrugged it off and focused back on the professor. But you sighed heavily as you are not getting anything whatever he is teaching. Michael noticed it. Getting bored? He asked in a low voice. Yes, physics is really boring. No, that's not true. If you understand physics well, then it is quite an interesting subject. Maybe. Jungkook clenched his fist while listening to both of yours conversation. Don't talk in the middle of the lecture. You instantly looked at Jungkook. What is your problem, Jungkook? We are just normally discussing something. Jungkook sighed before focusing back on the lecture. By the way, Michael, don't you find physics boring? No, because I'm quite good at it. Really? Yes, and I can help you with it. Seriously? Will you? He let out a chuckle. Yes, I can. Let's meet in the library after this lecture. Thank you so much. You thanked him while smiling, whereas Jungkook clenched his jaw. Class is over. The students stood up, gathered their things and started leaving the room. Jungkook gathered his things and furiously left from there. You noticed and called him from behind while packing your things. See you in the library then. Yes, I'll be there in 5 minutes. He nodded, then he walked away to check on Jungkook. Whereas Michael watched you leaving with an intense, strange look in his eyes. There was something unsettling about his gaze. It didn't seem normal.
하고 미안. 네 앞에만 서면 난 너만 보면 이게 아닌데 내 맘은 그게 이런 게 아닌데 예쁘게 말하고 싶었지만 내 맘이 들킬까 난 겁이 나서 차라리 들켜서 내 맘을 네가 알아챘어야 해. 널 사랑해서 널 좋아해서 그랬던 거라 난 생각했어. 말하지 않아도 내 맘을 너는 알아줄 거라 생각했어. 돌아서버린 너를 보면서 후회하면서 아무 일 없는 척 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 안 서투른가 봐. 너와 멀어질까 봐 그냥 아무 말도 못했어. 난 너에게 이게 아닌데 내 맘은 그게 이런 게 아닌데 내 자신을 합리화해보고 내 탓이 아님을 나 되뇌어도 달라질 것 없는 상황이란 걸 이미 잘 알고 있어. 널 사랑해서 널 좋아해서 그랬던 거라 난 생각했어. 말하지 않아도 내 맘을 너는 알아줄 거라 생각했어. 돌아서버린 너를 보면서 후회하면서 아무 일 없는 척 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 안 서투른가 봐. 엇갈려버린 참 슬픈 너와 나 마지막 너를 잡지 못했어. 후회하겠지 이게 아닌데 눈을 감아도 자꾸 네가 보여. 이러면 내가 더 초라한데 더 이상 내 맘을 알아줄 말해줄 사람들도 없잖아. 우리 젊은 날에 나의 추억으로 간직해야만 난 하겠지만 시간이 지나서라도 나는 네가 생각날 것 같아. 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 서투른가 봐. 미안. 네 앞에만 서면 난 너만 보면 이게 아닌데 내 맘은 그게 이런 게 아닌데 예쁘게 말하고 싶었지만 내 맘이 들킬까 난 겁이 나서 차라리 들켜서 내 맘을 네가 알아챘어야 해. 널 사랑해서 널 좋아해서 그랬던 거라 난 생각했어. 말하지 않아도 내 맘을 너는 알아줄 거라 생각했어. 돌아서버린 너를 보면서 후회하면서 아무 일 없는 척 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 안 서투른가 봐. 너와 멀어질까 봐 그냥 아무 말도 못했어. 난 너에게 이게 아닌데 내 맘은 그게 이런 게 아닌데. 내 자신을 합리화해보고 내 탓이 아님을 나 되뇌어도 달라질 것 없는 상황이란 걸 이미 잘 알고 있어. 널 사랑해서 널 좋아해서 그랬던 거라 난 생각했어. 말하지 않아도 내 맘을 너는 알아줄 거라 생각했어. 돌아서버린 너를 보면서 후회하면서 아무 일 없는 척 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 안 서투른가 봐. 엇갈려버린 참 슬픈 너와 나 마지막 너를 잡지 못했어. 후회하겠지 이게 아닌데. 눈을 감아도 자꾸 네가 보여. 이러면 내가 더 초라한데 더 이상 내 맘을 알아줄 말해줄 사람들도 없잖아. 우리 젊은 날에 나의 추억으로 간직해야만 난 하겠지만 시간이 지나서라도 나는 네가 생각날 것 같아. 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 안 서투른가 봐.
Jungkook is anxiously glancing over the way to the restroom time to time. It's been so long since he went in. In the sense of unease washes over him. Mingyu noticed his tense demeanor. What happened, Jungkook? Van has gone to the restroom. It's been so long, she has not come back yet. Don't worry, she will come back. Jungkook shook his head and his worry grows as he noticed Michael is not around either. She should have come back by now. It's been so long, I need to check. Something is definitely wrong. Michael has not been around either. Without a second thought, he sprints towards the bathroom, hoping that you are okay. Mingyu followed behind, sensing the urgency in Jungkook's voice. Michael is continuously forcing himself on you and you are struggling to get away from him while tears continuously streaming down your face. Michael slides down your top, you protested so it got torn and you cried miserably. You hoped Jungkook would come and save you. Suddenly Jungkook burst into the bathroom and the scene before him hits him like a punch to the gut. Michael is forcefully holding you, his face is buried in your neck and tears are streaming down your cheeks. Your face is bruised, Jungkook's heart aches at the sight and a surge of rage coursed through him. Without thinking, he strides forward and grabs Michael and pulls him away from you with all his strength. Get away from her, he shouted while pushing Michael harshly on the floor, his voice filled with anger and desperation. You sighed in relief as you spotted Jungkook. The tension in your chest eased, but as soon as you looked at him, the weight of your emotions overwhelmed you and more tears began to spill from your eyes. Jungkook's heart ached at the sight of you crying. Without a moment's hesitation, he rushed over to you, concern etched across his face. He quickly took off his jacket and wrapped it around your shoulders. It's okay, I'm here, he said softly, and you nodded while looking down. Then Jungkook turned around and looked at Michael. Mingyu is holding him back. Jungkook marched towards him and punched him so forcefully that blood came out of his lips and he fell down on the floor. Jungkook hovered over him and started punching him brutally. You got scared to see this side of him. Mingyu stepped in. Jungkook, stop. He will die. He deserves to die. He continued beating Michael. Mingyu got tensed and he pulled Jungkook back with all his force. Jungkook, you need to stop. Leave me, Mingyu. I need to get rid of him today. You have lost your mind. Did not I warn you to stay away from her? Then why did you touch her? He shouted while beating Michael with his foot. He groaned in pain. Meanwhile, Mingyu is dragging Jungkook away from Michael with all the force. Jungkook, you go check on Van. I will handle him. Hearing your name seemed to snap Jungkook out of his race. He turned his gaze towards you and saw the fear in your eyes, and it softened his expressions instantly. The anger that had fueled him moments before faded away as concern took its place. I'm sorry, Jungkook. You managed to whisper while crying miserably. He shushed you, then went down and gently picked you up in his arms, cradling you against his chest. As he began to walk away from the chores, you buried your face into his shoulder, feeling his heartbeat against you. The world around you faded, leaving only the warmth of Jungkook's embrace and the comfort of knowing that he was there to protect you. Jungkook carried you into your apartment, closing the door gently behind him. He walked you over to the bed, where he carefully sat you down. You felt his eyes on you, but you couldn't bring yourself to meet his gaze. Instead, you looked down, tears quietly slipped down your cheeks. As the reality of everything sank in, regret weighed heavily on your heart. You remembered all the times Jungkook had warned you about Michael, urging you to be cautious, but you had not listened. The pain of your own misplaced trust only made the tears came harder. "Do you want to take a shower?" he asked, his voice calm and caring. "I should have listened to you. You tried to warn me, but I didn't believe you," you whispered with trembling voice while tears streamed down your face. "First go and take shower. It will make you feel better." You nodded, realizing that washing away could bring some relief as you are feeling disgusted by Michael's touch everywhere your body. He made you stand up and leads you to the bathroom. "I'll be right here if you need me." Once you were inside the bathroom, he locked the door and sat back on the couch. While you were in the shower, Jungkook sat on the couch. He ran his hand through his hair in frustration. His mind replayed the events of the night, each memory sparking a fresh wave of guilt. He cursed himself under his breath, questioning why he had not been there sooner, why he had not prevented Michael from hurting you in the first place. "I should have been there sooner to stop it." The thought of you facing Michael alone tore him up inside. He felt a painful twist in his chest as he imagined what you must have gone through, his frustration turning inward. All he wanted was to protect you, but he felt like he had got late. Lost in his thoughts, he barely noticed the sound of water stopping. He took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. Right now, what mattered most was making sure you felt safe and supported, and he promised himself he would not let anything like this happen to you again. When you came out of the bathroom, Jungkook was already waiting for you. He walked over and gently guided you back to the bed. You sat down, feeling drained, and without saying a word, he picked up the towel and began drying your hair with a delicate, comforting movements. After drying your hair, Jungkook quietly stepped away and returned with a first aid box. He sat down beside you. You kept your head lowered, trying to hold back the tears that were still slipping down your cheeks. Seeing this, he reached out, his hand warm and steady as he lifted your chin, gently urging you to look at him. When his gaze fell on the bruise on the corner of your lip and the faint marks on your neck, his face darkened with a mixture of pain and anger. Your injuries seemed to tear at his heart, and he looked as if he were carrying the pain with you. He carefully took out some antiseptic and dabbed it into the cotton sock, then gently applied it to the bruises, his movements slow and cautious. "This might sting a little," he murmured, keeping his eyes on you to make sure you were okay. As Jungkook carefully tended to your bruises, you could not help but glance up at him. His face was hard to read, his jaw was tense, his eyes focused yet distant. An uncomfortable silence settled between you, and your heart ached with guilt. You wondered if he was choosing not to speak because he was disappointed or maybe even hurt by your actions. Was he going to keep ignoring the hurt you had caused him by not trusting him earlier, or was he trying to decide if he could forgive you? The thought twisted painfully inside you, and for a moment you wanted to speak, to apologize, to explain, but the words felt stuck in your throat, your courage wavering under the muffled sob. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Jungkook put down the first aid kit. He took a deep breath and looked at you, his gaze softened slightly. As you were continuously sobbing and it was piercing his heart, he thought it might be hurting somewhere. "That's why you are crying." So he asked, "Is it paining anywhere? Do you want to go to the doctor? We can go right now if you need to," he asked, his voice filled with worry.
가슴이 떨려와 자꾸 미안 네 앞에만 서면 난 너만 보면 이게 아닌데 내 맘은 그게 이런 게 아닌데 예쁘게 말하고 싶었지만 내 맘이 들킬까 난 겁이 나서 차라리 들켜서 내 맘을 네가 알아챘어야 해 널 사랑해서 널 좋아해서 그랬던 거라 난 생각했어 말하지 않아도 내 맘을 너는 알아줄 거라 생각했어 돌아서버린 너를 보면서 후회하면서 아무 일 없는 척 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 안 서투른가 봐 너와 멀어질까 봐 그냥 아무 말도 못했어 난 너에게 이게 아닌데 내 맘은 그게 이런 게 아닌데 내 자신을 합리화해보고 내 탓이 아님을 나 되뇌어도 달라질 것 없는 상황이란 걸 이미 잘 알고 있어 널 사랑해서 널 좋아해서 그랬던 거라 난 생각했어 말하지 않아도 내 맘을 너는 알아줄 거라 생각했어 돌아서버린 너를 보면서 후회하면서 아무 일 없는 척 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 안 서투른가 봐 엇갈려버린 참 슬픈 너와 나 마지막 너를 잡지 못했어 후회하겠지 이게 아닌데 눈을 감아도 자꾸 네가 보여 이러면 내가 더 초라한데 더 이상 내 맘을 알아줄 말해줄 사람들도 없잖아 우리 젊은 날에 나의 추억으로 간직해야만 난 하겠지만 시간이 지나서라도 나는 네가 생각날 것 같아 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 안 서투른가 봐 자꾸 미안 네 앞에만 서면 난 너만 보면 이게 아닌데 내 맘은 그게 이런 게 아닌데 예쁘게 말하고 싶었지만 내 맘이 들킬까 난 겁이 나서 차라리 들켜서 내 맘을 네가 알아챘어야 해. 널 사랑해서 널 좋아해서 그랬던 거라 난 생각했어. 말하지 않아도 내 맘을 너는 알아줄 거라 생각했어. 돌아서버린 너를 보면서 후회하면서 아무 일 없는 척 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 안 서투른가 봐. 너와 멀어질까 봐 그냥 아무 말도 못했어. 난 너에게 이게 아닌데 내 맘은 그게 이런 게 아닌데 내 자신을 합리화해보고 내 탓이 아님을 나 되뇌어도 달라질 것 없는 상황이란 걸 이미 잘 알고 있어. 널 사랑해서 널 좋아해서 그랬던 거라 난 생각했어. 말하지 않아도 내 맘을 너는 알아줄 거라 생각했어. 돌아서버린 너를 보면서 후회하면서 아무 일 없는 척 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 안 서투른가 봐. 엇갈려버린 참 슬픈 너와 나 마지막 너를 잡지 못했어. 후회하겠지 이게 아닌데 눈을 감아도 자꾸 네가 보여. 이러면 내가 더 초라한데 더 이상 내 맘을 알아줄 말해줄 사람들도 없잖아. 우리 젊은 날에 나의 추억으로 간직해야만 난 하겠지만 시간이 지나서라도 나는 네가 생각날 것 같아. 울어도 괜찮은데 아직도 사랑은 안 서투른가 봐.